You are about to hear a story based on actual events. To protect the innocent, names and places have been changed.
Autolite and its 96,000 dealers bring you Mr. Charles Lawton in a story taken from life. Tonight's presentation of Suspense.
Tonight, Autolite presents Neal Cream, Doctor of Poison, a story concerning a man historically famous as the most notorious poisoner who ever lived, starring Mr. Charles Lawton.
Hello, Harlow.
Well, hi, Hap. Boy, you just can't beat the system, can you?
What system?
Why, the electrical system of your Autolite-equipped car. And it works for you every time you press the starter button, blow your horn, light your lights, or use your radio or heater.
Harlow, you mean Autolite makes coils, distributors, and all the other important units that make up the complete electrical system?
They sure do, Hap, with all units and their thousands of component parts related like a team by Autolite engineering design and manufacturing skill to give you the smoothest performance money can buy.
Harlow, even I couldn't improve on that.
Thank you, Hap. So, friends, because the electrical system is so important to the smooth and efficient operation of your car, treat your car to a periodic checkup. See your car dealer or visit your nearest authorized Autolite service station listed in the classified section of your telephone directory. Or call Western Union by number and ask for Operator 25. She will quickly tell you the address of the authorized Autolite service station nearest you. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, with Neal Cream, Doctor of Poison, and the performance of Mr. Charles Lawton, Autolite hopes once again to keep you in suspense.
Dr. Cream.
May I see her now, Doctor?
Dr. Cream, there was nothing I could do. I'm sorry, terribly sorry. I tried everything.
You tried everything? Sorry.
I did what I could. It was too late. Don't go in now.
I must go in. I must see her.
I'm sorry.
Emily. Baby girl. Emily. Doctor. My wife's dead.
Come away. I'll attend to things.
She's dead. I wasn't with her. I didn't know. Emily, my love. My little girl. No. She can't be my life. Oh, Emily. Well, that was Emily, my only wife. She left me a widower with an income of £400 a year. It's rather extraordinary how long it took her to die. To look at the girl, you'd never have thought it. She was thin and sickly, but in possession of what must have been the constitution of an ox. I'd been poisoning her steadily for 6 months and expected her certainly to die within 3. It was a case history for the medical journal. So I wrote them a paper about it, anonymously, of course.
Inspector Waring.
Sergeant Dean, sir. I've got a letter here from the editor of the medical journal.
Why did they forward it to the yard?
There's a manuscript that came with the letter. Just a moment, sir. Resistance to physiological action of alkaloid poisoning. Case history C, by anonymous.
Oh, what's the matter with that?
The medical journal people seem to feel that the man who wrote it did the job, too.
Put it on my desk. I'll be there in half an hour.
Right, sir.
3 weeks after Emily died, I made arrangements to move to London. There was no trouble, but then I hadn't thought there would be. The good doctor had made out a certificate based upon the history which I supplied. I had decided upon a refined intestinal disorder which bore a magnificent Latin name and closely paralleled the symptoms brought about by the poison administered. So much for the late and unlamented Emily Cream.
I'm sure as how you'll find this room most suitable, sir.
Oh, Dr. Cream, Dr. Neal Cream, ma'am.
Oh, how nice. I have another boarder who's a doctor. Well, very nearly. Medical student, don't you know? Mr. Bridgman. Ever such a nice gentleman.
Really?
You'll find a very refined atmosphere in my house, Doctor. And scrupulously clean. Very scrupulous.
I'm sure of that, Mrs. Minns. I think this will do very nicely.
May I ask, Doctor, how long you plan to allow us the pleasure of your company?
I'm afraid I have no idea of that, Mrs. Minns. You see, I only just arrived from home. My wife died there a month ago.
Oh, how sad. How terribly sad.
Yeah, I thought that here in London I might forget. You look understanding. You do understand that, don't you?
Oh, poor dear man. Of course. Oh, my, how I understand. I'm a widow myself. Only my daughter Daisy and me. How I do feel for you.
You're so kind.
Oh, no, not at all, I'm sure. You will join us for tea, won't you?
Oh, I should be delighted. Thank you so much. I had found a boarding house in Bloomsbury off the Tottenham Court Road. The proprietress, Mrs. Minns, was a tall, bony sort of woman, a type that I particularly despise, not at all nourishing to a man of my disposition. Now, the daughter she'd mentioned I hoped would be a better prospect, but I knew that I would have to be careful there. After unpacking, I went down to tea.
Oh!
I'm awfully sorry. I didn't mean to bother.
Oh, it's quite all right, I'm sure. You must be the new boarder, Dr. Cream.
Yes, I've been asked into tea.
Oh, they're waiting for you. You're in for it. I'll pass muster, as poor old Dad used to say.
Dear, oh dear, is that dreadful?
You'll see.
As bad as that, huh?
Worse. Oh, excuse me, I got to put the kettle on. Maid's day off, you know.
May I help you?
Oh, of course not.
Then you could help me pass muster when we come back.
Oh, you know, you're not at all what I expected.
What did you expect?
Well, from the way Mum talked, I don't know. Oh, all right, come along.
Daisy Minns was not a beauty by any means, but there was a spark, an honesty, good humor that I found most enjoyable. We got on famously, but it was too soon to think about Daisy. Perhaps later. It was the evening of the fourth day after my arrival in London that I met Mildred Vickers. It was at a pub in Hammersmith. She was a sweet little thing, large brown eyes, rosy cheeks, perhaps encouraged by a touch of rouge. Altogether delightful. I must say that I flattered her with attentions not usually received, and flowers, dinner, the theatre. She was very grateful. Oh, tired. You?
Yes. Goodbye. Thanks very much.
Goodbye.
I wanted to tell you earlier tonight, I can't see you anymore.
You can't? You're joking.
I'm not. You've been a duck. We've had a lovely time, but it's finished. My young man's coming home tomorrow. He phoned me this morning from Southampton. His boat's coming.
Your young man? Your young man?
You'll wake up the whole house.
Millie, you'll be the death of me. Now, come along. Let's get inside.
You can't. I'm serious. It's like you said, laughs and all sorts of fun. It's over. Now, you be a good boy and...
Now, you get inside.
Stop it. Don't you go
I'll
forget me.
Millie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lose my temper, but the way you told me, it's a shock. I thought you were joking.
I'm sorry. Really, I am.
I'm very fond of you, Millie. A chap gets fonder, and then... well, one last kiss, Millie, just one last kiss.
Of course. I knew you'd be a sport about it.
Millie, I can't let you go. I
Oh,
can't.
crikey.
Now, Millie, let's talk it over.
There's nothing to
I'm
talk.
just going to sit quietly and talk. I promised I'm not going to make any trouble for you. I just want you to understand.
Understand what? I'm tired.
Please, it's not too much to ask. We'll just have one drink and you listen to me. And if you want me to go, I'll go. I'll quietly, no bother. Everything's serene.
I'm sorry. It all sounds ever so sad, but my young man's coming in tomorrow. And...
Will you stop talking about your young man? Millie, I didn't mean that. You know, I'm not angry, but please, now, will you look here? There's so much that I can give you. I'm not young, you know, anymore, but you found me attractive. You do find me attractive, don't you? Well, don't you? What are you smiling about? What the heck? What are you laughing at? Millie! Millie! Millie!
Stop your shouting. You think I want the police on me?
No. You want me to go?
That's right.
Well, I'll be as good as my word then, Millie. There's no hard feelings.
Of course not, silly.
Farewell drink?
Not for me, thanks.
Just a splash. We're going to drink to your young man.
When he does lather in you.
Isn't he just?
You ought to find yourself a nice widow. Someone like you. And settle down.
Yes, I know what you mean, Millie. Here we are.
Thanks. Now, Harvey, like a good boy.
Millie, I suppose I really should tell you that I don't care about you at all. That nonsense that I was saying before. I didn't mean it, you know. I don't quite understand why I said anything. You're not worth it. You're nasty little... Yeah. That burns, doesn't it? It doesn't burn for long, though. You annoyed me very much by chucking me over. Not that I cared because of you, but me, you see. And it isn't going to be long. I just want you to know. Can you hear me? I just want you to know that every time we went to a public place together, I was ashamed. Ashamed to be seen with someone like you. Good night.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Charles Lawton in Neal Cream, Doctor of Poison. Tonight's production in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Say, Harlow, if I need a new coil for my car's Autolite electrical system, won't most any coil fit?
Sure, Hap. And white shoelaces fit black shoes.
But they don't match.
Right you are, Hap. But every part in the Autolite electrical system does match perfectly with every other part to give your car the smoothest performance money can buy.
You mean the Autolite coil, distributor, generator, they're all related?
You bet they are, Hap, because the units that make up the complete Autolite electrical system and their thousands of component parts are all related by Autolite engineering design and manufacturing skill, and are used as original factory equipment on many leading makes of our finest cars, trucks, and tractors.
Well, that's good enough for me, Harlow.
So, friends, take a tip from me and specify Autolite original factory parts when replacements are needed for your Autolite-equipped car. You'll find it pays because you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Charles Lawton in Elliot Lewis's production of Neal Cream, Doctor of Poison. A dramatic report well calculated to keep you in suspense.
For the next 2 or 3 nights I stayed in at the boarding house, I don't think I felt well. At least I couldn't sleep. My sleep wasn't at all restful. I had dreams. Horrible, frightening dreams. I remember that just before I dropped off to sleep one night, soon after Millie was taken, that I thought to myself that I must speak to Mrs. Minns about the cooking. Oh, that heavy stuff.
Dr. Cream. Dr. Cream! Dr. Cream! Wake up. Wake up, Doctor. It's all right. It's all right.
In the matter?
I hope you'll forgive the liberty, sir. I'm afraid you were having a nightmare. It sounded as though you were being murdered.
Murdered? You thought I was, did I say anything?
You screamed, sir.
Oh, is that all?
It sounded... Well, I'm awfully sorry.
That's quite all right. It's very good of you to be concerned. You're that young medical student Mrs. Minns told me about, aren't you, Mr.
Bridgman, sir.
Yes, Bridgman. We should have a chat one day soon, lunch perhaps. You specializing?
I haven't made up my mind yet, Doctor.
Good. Lots of time for that,
Yes. Well, I think I'd better go back to bed.
I was sorry to have troubled you.
Not at all, sir. Good night.
Good night. I wonder, is he lying? Did I say something? Did he hear it? I wonder. Blast! 2 weeks passed and I was safe. Nobody knew, unless Mr. Edward Bridgman, the medical student. I'd taken him to lunch 2 or 3 times and we talked medicine for the most part. But he had a way of looking curious and knowing. I decided to write the letter to Scotland Yard.
Commissioner, Inspector Waring here. I think we've got something more on that poison case in Hull and Millie Vickers. Yes, a letter. It says, to whom it may concern, I have information which can lead to the arrest of the person responsible for the murder of Millie Vickers in Hammersmith. Is it worth £3,000? If so, leave the money at the pillar box on the corner of Kensington and Earl's Court Road. Plain wrapping paper will do. And it's signed A. O'Brien, Private Detective. Yes, sir. Yes, we'll see to it straight away.
It was aggravating not to be able to learn whether the police had accepted my offer. I could have used the money, but other more important things were occupying my time. Mr. Bridgman. I loathe bright young men, and I had a feeling that he was watching me cleverly and carefully. I had to put a stop to that. He knew that was certain, so I took to following him. As far as I could make out, he didn't voice his suspicions to the police, but there was a girl. He met her from time to time, and one day when they were having tea together, I think he saw me. Because from where I stood outside the tea shop, I saw Mr. Bridgman lean across the table and talk rapidly to his sweetheart, and that would have to be taken care of. It was. A week later. I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes?
Now, you must think me awfully rude, but aren't you Edward Bridgman's young lady?
Why, yes, but I don't believe
No, we haven't met. Edward's told me so much about you, though. I saw you together as I went by on the bus last week. You were coming out of a tea shop.
That's right, in Oxford Street.
Now, look here. I wanted to meet you for a long time to talk about Edward.
Oh?
Well, I mean, you're going together, and I thought...
I suppose so, in a way.
Exactly. I'm very fond of him, you know. As a matter of fact, I've spoken to some colleagues of mine in the profession who understand, and your Edward has a future, I think.
That's sweet of you, Mr...
No, it's Dr. Cream.
Of course, he has spoken of you. You're staying at the same boarding house.
Yes, we are. I hope he said nice things.
Oh, yes, but you know Edward. He doesn't talk much about anybody, does he?
Yes, that is what I wanted to talk to you about. Now, do you think we could go somewhere? Would you like a spot of tea which I could drink?
Well, I don't know. You see, I really should
Please, it's really important to Edward. Clever little devil, but a rotten actress. You know Edward, he doesn't talk much about anybody. Does he? Because I could see through her plan perfectly well. Trap me into an admission of guilt and then call the police, but I was ready for that. It was a little sad. I didn't even know her name. She had a pretty face. And a pretty figure. No name. Just Mr. Bridgman's young lady. It was dark when we walked along the quiet road leading to our house. I'd been the perfect gentleman and had escorted her home. She died behind a hedge. Convulsively, but within 3 minutes. I made sure that there was no outcry. Nobody heard, nobody saw, and nobody cared except perhaps for a medical student. To whom it may concern, ask Mr. Edward Bridgman, who lives in Mrs. Minn's boarding house, what he knows about the murders of Millie Vickers and Joyce Hamilton. He killed them both. I offer this information, greatest A. O'Brien, private detective. Yes?
Evening, Dr. Cream.
Hello, Daisy. Come in for a chat, or is it a sore throat?
Neither. Mum asked me to ask you something.
Oh.
She wonders how long you'll be staying.
Well, I'm perfectly happy. I hadn't thought of moving. Why?
I don't know. Mum didn't say. I'll tell her what you said.
Daisy, just a minute. Close the door like a good girl. I want to talk to you.
Gentlemen lodgers' doors must be kept open when receiving female company.
Drat that notice. I've read it, too, and I just closed the door and don't be silly. Daisy, come here. Have you read about the murders, the poisoner?
Oh, who hasn't?
What do you think?
Oh, I don't. But Mum says he's one of those, you know.
Hey, shall I tell you a secret?
What?
You won't tell.
Of course not. What?
I think I know who the murderer is.
Really? Have you told the police?
Well, yes. I wrote them a letter. I told them who it was.
No. Who?
Come here. Edward Bridgman.
Oh, you're pulling my leg.
Very pretty leg, Daisy, but I'm not.
Well, how do you know? I know it's Dottie.
I know. I do.
Oh, Dr. Cream, you are the one. Oh, I should know better than to listen to you, always joking. Well, I've got to go downstairs now. Mum will be wondering. Papa.
Daisy, wait. I've got to tell you something. Darn, I could have killed her. She thought it was a joke. There had been so many things to tell her, clues, proof, everything to help get rid of the medical student. And she wouldn't listen. And after she'd gone, I was afraid that she might remember. Darn, I could have killed her. It was Saturday, 2 days after I'd posted the letter to Scotland Yard. I thought I'd take a walk to Hyde Park and was leaving my room to go downstairs when the front door bell rang.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Mrs. Minn?
Yes.
We're from Scotland Yard.
Police?
I should like to have a word with a Mr. Edward Bridgman. Does he live here?
Yes. Won't you come in? Is anything wrong?
Is he at home?
It's in the drawing room, I think. Shall I call him?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Not at all, I'm sure. Mr. Bridgman.
Yes, Mrs. Minn?
Mr. Bridgman?
Yes?
I'd like to speak to you, if you don't mind.
Oh, what about?
Tell me, is there somewhere we can...
Afternoon, everybody.
Oh, hello, Doctor.
Nice day. I thought I'd take a walk.
Mum, all right if I go to the cinema with Agnes? Oh, police.
Run along, Daisy. Don't be home late.
Mr. Bridgman.
Come along, Daisy. I'll walk along with you.
You were right all the time, Doctor. Oh, and to think I didn't believe you.
what did you say, miss?
Oh, just a little joke of ours, Inspector, nothing at all. Come along, Daisy. I can't wait, Daisy.
Just a moment, sir. Miss, do you know something about this?
Of course I do. But Dr. Cream told me he wrote a letter to you about Mr. Bridgman. He told me. Didn't you, Doctor?
Dr. Cream, you wrote us a letter, signed A. O'Brien?
Bridgman's your man, sir. I wanted to spare him the humiliation. That's your man. I told Daisy I thought he might try to harm
What are you saying? I never...
It's all right, Mr. Bridgman. I don't think we shall need to trouble you. Come along, Doctor, if you don't mind. There are a few questions we should like to ask you at the Yard.
Oh, of course. Having set down this case history, my own, let the judge and all responsible for my unfair trial be warned that death will come to them from an unseen agency. What I did in honor and right. No human power has the right to condemn me. Those that died because of their own misdeeds. I have been merely the instrument of justice. For this, I cannot hang. Neal Cream, M.D.
Dr. Neal Cream.
It won't hurt, will it? I can't stand pain. It won't hurt, will it?
Suspense. Presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Charles Lawton.
Friends, this is Harlow Wilcox again to remind you that Autolite is the world's largest independent manufacturer of automotive electrical equipment. In 28 plants from coast to coast, Autolite makes over 400 products for cars, trucks, planes, and boats. These include complete electrical systems used as original factory equipment on many leading makes of our finest cars. Ignition-engineered Autolite standard and resistor-type spark plugs. Autolite batteries, including the famous Autolite Stay Full battery. Electric windshield wipers, fuel pumps, speedometers, and many more. All are backed by constant Autolite research and are precision-built to assure long dependability. So remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
Your radio is experiencing technical difficulties. Please stay on by.
It's Wolfburger the werewolf! Where can I get delicious burgers? Where can I get fun food? Where, oh where?
At Burger Chef.
Where?
And now at participating Burger Chefs, you can buy fun meals that now come on Halloween magic meal trays. There's a magic trick in each fun meal. There are 10 different magic meal tricks you can collect.
Burger Chef, you're incredible!
Roma Wines present Suspense. Roma Wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
Salud. Your health, senor.
Roma Wines toast the world. The wine for your table is Roma Wine, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is the Man in Black, here for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense. Tonight from Hollywood, Roma Wines bring you Miss Fay Bainter, Mr. Ralph Morgan, and Mr. Dane Clark in a suspense play dealing with a mother and a son and a lodger who kept an appointment with death. And so, with Life Ends at Midnight, and with the performances of Fay Bainter as Mrs. Bates, of Dane Clark as her son Walter, and of Ralph Morgan as Mr. Chalmers, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
That's right, Mom. It's your little sonny boy, Walter. You still remember my whistle, eh?
Oh, yes, But what I didn't know
Never know when I'll turn up, eh, Mom? What's the matter? Do we have to stand here in the hall?
Oh, no. Come in. It's just... Come in, Walter.
Well, it's the same old crummy joint.
I do my best to keep it clean, Walter.
Yeah, I know. Regular old Mother Hubbard. You'll have to clean up the whole south side before you get the magoo out of this flea bag. Oh... Boy, am I tired. Up all night in a stinking day coach full of snoring jerks and squalling babies. Babies are the worst. All they do is bawl and slobber.
You left Pittsburgh last night?
1 a.m, didn't sleep a wink. Yeah, look at my collar.
But tomorrow is Monday. You have to be at work in the morning.
Sure, What's the matter? You worried?
Oh, no, I just...
Don't just. Can't a guy come home and see his mother once in 6 months? That's a mother for you. You break your back, you sit up all night to see your mother for 1 day, and she tells you have to be at work in the morning. How do you like it?
Walter, I'm sorry. I did miss you so. I just worried about...
Yeah, I know. Well, don't worry so much. It makes me nervous.
Here, sit at the table, dear. You must be starved.
Oh, all right. Now it's like coming home.
Oh, my baby. I'm so glad to see you. You did come just to see me, didn't you?
Who else? Hattie Lamar?
Well, of course you came to see me. It's just that I always worry so about you,
Forget it. Well, what's to eat?
I was just making a chop for my lunch. That's all there seems to be in the house right now.
That'll be enough for me.
It'll be ready in a minute. Now tell me about yourself, your job.
Never mind about me. How are you doing?
Well, I try not to complain, Walter. Things are not easy. Prices high. Rent's going up all the time, even on this old house. Honest, I don't know what I'm going to do if things don't...
You had some bonds Papa left you. You had about $2,000 bonds he left you. You still got
Well,
them?
I'm trying to tell you, Walter, things haven't been easy. And...
Always the poor mouth. Every time I see her, she's putting on a poor mouth.
I'm just saying things aren't easy.
And for me, do you think it's a picnic? I got enough trouble, and for what? For what? All year I worked like crazy. For what?
A man must work, Walter.
A man must work, Walter.
Yes, that's true. A man must work and live like a person, and not be afraid so that he can sleep without worrying about...
About what?
About a bell ringing at night, or a knock on the door in the morning, or someone touching you on the arm. Yes, it's a nice feeling and a free feeling to be able to walk down the street in the sun with your eyes meeting another man's without wondering if he's...
Shut up! I ain't in trouble against her. Stop mouthing at me. You're always mouthing at me.
You haven't... You know what the judge said the last time, Walter? He was nice. Now, he gave you another chance. He saw you were really a good boy, and he gave you another chance. He got you a nice job, and you promised to... You must... Oh, you're all right, Walter. You didn't...
Meatball. A herring on a plate all your life. You're a tomcat in the garbage. You find a fish head and you say, thank you, mister. You chew a fish good and you smile pretty. Well, not for me. You take a chance and you throw away the fish heads. You get one break and you're out of the garbage can for life. You throw with time clocks and shiny pants. You're in a higher brackets and nobody gets you. Yeah, you're a mister with a future. You hold your nose when you walk from the day coach to your compartment. You leave the stinks behind in a pot of dusty air in front of you, and that's for me. One break and you're as hot as a rocket shooting diamonds for sparks.
Walter!
You're a P-38 in a world full of flivvers. A buck gets you two gets you four.
Walter!
Good for one blonde to kick her and a kisser.
Walter!
It's all right. I took another chance. I tried to run it up. No dice. I gotta make it good. Tomorrow morning, I gotta make it good. The books at the office will show it, and I gotta make it good.
How much?
$1,500.
$1,500?
By midnight tonight, $1,500. If I miss that 12:20 for Pittsburgh, it's all up. I might as well take gas.
$1,500. By midnight tonight. Where am I going to get it, Walter?
The bonds. You got the bonds, Papa.
The bonds. How do you think I got you out of the last trouble? Bribes, bail, paying back every dime. Where do you think I got it?
I'll get 10 years. You heard the judge last time.
What can I do? What?
10 years and start. 10 years. There won't be no reform school this time.
Walter,
oh, look,
Walter.
please, Ma, please, get me the money. I'll be good. I'll work hard. I won't give you no more trouble, but help me now. Please, Mama, please, will you?
Where can I get it, Walter? I've nothing left. Nothing.
I don't care where you get it. It's your fault, and you gotta help me. I only wanted to help you.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna...
Yes. It is my fault. I've always protected you, but I can't protect you anymore. I'll give you the few dollars I have. Go away. It'll be enough to help you run away. That's all I can do.
You're holding out on me. You're worrying about your old age. You're making yourself a cushy little...
I'm sorry. I hope I'm not intruding.
Who's this?
Oh, Mr. Chalmers. This is Mr. Chalmers, Walter. He has the back bedroom. This is my son, Walter, Mr. Chalmers.
How do you do, Mr. Bates? I feel that I know you very well. Your mother and I sit here in the kitchen sometimes over a cup of tea, and she talks about you for hours and hours. Yes, I can see why Mother is so proud of you. How do you do, Mr. Bates? Yes, you're a fine-looking young man. Mrs. Bates, if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to the corner for my paper. I think that little man with the tiny mustache, you know who I mean, the insurance agent, I think he might call again to collect. Please tell him to go away. You will do that for me, Mrs. Bates.
Yes, Mr. Chalmers.
Thank you, Mrs. Bates. Tell him not to come back any more. I don't want to pay any more on the policy. You remember I told you my nephew was very sick in Spokane?
Yes, Mr. Chalmers.
Well, the poor young man passed away, yes. I was going to leave him a few dollars when I died. But now, well, I have no one left at all. And, well, $1 a week. You'll tell that to the little man with the tiny mustache?
Yes, Mr. Chalmers.
Thank you, Mrs. Bates. Good day, Mr. Bates.
Walter, I have $40 in the house for the rent. You can take that. Draw me a card when you get settled someplace. Let me know where you are. I'll send you some more as soon as I can get it. Maybe later I'll be able to straighten it out. Maybe later I'll be able to speak to your boss. I'll promise to pay back every dime, but you must go away. You must.
Tell me something about Mr. Chalmers. He interests me very strangely.
Walter.
Don't be so nervous, Ma. We got plenty of time. We got till midnight.
Tonight for Suspense, Roma Wines bring you as stars Fay Bainter, Ralph Morgan, and Dane Clark. You have heard them in the prologue to our suspense play this evening, Robert Tallman's story, Life Ends at Midnight. Before we return to the scene of our play, let us journey in fancy to Havana and sit at a table in the gay restaurant Paris.
At the next table, we see perhaps a farewell party given for an American visitor. The American is wondering how he'll be able to repay in his own country the hospitality shown him in Cuba. Reassuringly, his Cuban host might remark, "Es muy fácil, amigo. Just be sure to serve wonderful Roma wine. It is wine imported by us from your own country. Roma wine." Indeed, Americans can well be proud that judges of fine wines in so many lands now acclaim the wines of California among the world's most enjoyable of all time. Of these truly superb wines, Roma wines are especially honored by the number of countries now importing them for enjoyment as rare luxuries. But Roma wines are not lacking in honors bestowed them here in America, because Roma wines are America's largest selling wines. If you aren't already one of the millions enjoying Roma wines regularly, as a delicious beverage any time, to add sparkle to any meal, to smarten your entertaining, make your own taste test to choose your favorite, choosing from Roma wine's many different wine types. When you learn their modest cost here in America, with no import duty to pay, no expensive shipping charges to absorb, you'll know why we say Roma wines are for your daily enjoyment. I'll spell out the name for you. R-O-M-A, Roma wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
And now it is with pleasure that we bring back to our soundstage Fay Beta, Ralph Morgan, and Dane Clark in Life Ends at Midnight, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Yes, I do think I'll have another cup if you don't mind, Mrs. Bates.
Now, Mr. Chalmers, suppose you look at it this way. You've been paying $1 a week for how many years now?
I'd say 20 years would be a conservative estimate.
All right, 20 years. Now, let's see, that's $50 a year. Say that's $1,000 you paid in, no?
Yes, $1,000. This coffee cake, Mrs. Bates, is excellent.
You like it? I made it yesterday when
Forget the coffee cake. Now, let's figure percentage. How many more years do you figure to live?
Walter.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Bates. After all, I'm an old man, and at my age, one rather, comes to terms with death. It's like the end of a long, busy day. Life ends at midnight, and a new day begins. Yes, Walter, I think you're on the verge of making a very profound observation.
Yeah, you see.
My policy is for $2,500. And in the days that are left to me, I certainly will not be required to pay in as much as I have already paid out.
That's the exact point. And if you drop it now, will you get anything back? No. You got a straight life with no cash-in value. If you drop the policy now, the insurance company is the winner. But say you live another couple of years. You pay a couple of hundred more. And you leave the $2,500 to somebody. Now, which is a smart thing? I leave it to you.
Yes, I should like to think that when I'm gone, I've left something behind for someone. Mr. Chalmers? Oh, yes, I'll always remember him for this. It's nice to live on in somebody's memory for a little while after we're dead. But A, I have no one in this world. And B, I must be very, very frank and tell you that I can no longer afford to pay even the $1 a week. You see, I live on a
That's a problem of the most minor importance. For anybody who invests in you now, $1 a week would be gilt-edged. I mean, for instance, take my mother here. Now, suppose you made her the beneficiary. Now, suppose she continued to pay the $1 a week. Who can lose on such a deal? Who can lose? Nobody. You get the point?
Oh, no, I couldn't. Why, it's...
Why not? It's simple, huh?
No, Mr. Chalmers, no, you mustn't.
Let Mr. Chalmers decide. Huh, Mr. Chalmers? It makes good sense, no? It makes everybody happy, no?
But we're practically strangers. We just...
What do you mean, strangers? Who's a stranger in this world? We're just little people trying to make each other happy. Huh, Mr. Chalmers? Now, Mr. Chalmers here can die feeling he didn't waste $1 a week for 20 years, and he'll know he'll live in your memory. That's what he wants. Now, why shouldn't he have it? Ain't every man entitled to at least live in somebody's memory?
Yes, but Mr. Chalmers doesn't have to do that. I'll think about him anyway. I promise I will. He don't have...
Let him say something. You're always mounting. Now, what do you say, Mr. Chalmers?
Oh, that must be the little man with the tiny mustache. I'll tell him I'm keeping the policy and changing the beneficiary. Oh, could you let me have the loan of $1, Mr. Bates?
Hurry it up, will you? The old man's coming home in a minute or two. He takes his nap about this time. I want this ready for him.
Oh, relax, Sonny, relax. I can't finish this job today.
What are you giving me?
It'll take a joint and another length of pipe.
Oh, fix it up. You're a good plumber. You can fix it up for now.
Hey, the room's pretty small.
Oh.
Why do you want the heater so close to the bed for?
Like I told you, he's got rheumatism. He needs plenty of heat.
Well, I can run a rubber extension, but with gas, I don't like it.
Okay, so with gas, you don't like it, but with gas, we gotta run this heater. The old man's got rheumatics. He can take plenty of gas.
Huh?
The heat, I mean. He needs plenty. What are you doing now?
Tighten this joint.
Look, it's tight enough. Here's your $3 and...
Okay, you're the boss.
Bring your tools the next time.
I won't be any next time, Sonny.
What are you giving me now?
You can get somebody else to do your dirty work after this. So long, Skippy.
Skippy? Well, come on, Skippy. Pull yourself together. We got work to do. Hiya, Pop.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, this used to be my room. The steam don't come up here so good, so I talked the old lady into fixing this up for you.
Well, that was very thoughtful of you, Walter.
Thanks. I stuffed up the cracks in the window, too. 0 weather. It gets plenty of drafty in this room.
You thought of everything, didn't you, Walter?
Huh? Yeah, it ought to work out just fine.
It'll do the job, I think. I'm going to take a little nap before dinner. Do you think the heater...
Just leave it on. I'll look in after a bit to see if it's okay.
Well, now, you needn't go to all that trouble.
No, it's no trouble at all, Mr. Chalmers. When I do a thing, I like to do it right.
Well, who's there? Is that you, Walter?
Yeah, go on back to sleep, Pop. I'm just turning the heater off. It's getting stuffy in here.
Oh, you're a good, considerate boy, Walter.
Oh, I'll skip it. Go on back to sleep.
Please don't walk so fast, Walter. My feet are hurting me again.
You can buy new shoes tomorrow.
I'd like to know what with.
Maybe you'll have dough tomorrow. Maybe we'll both have some dough.
If a miracle happened.
Maybe miracles do happen. Maybe if you're smart.
Where are you taking me to, Walter?
Nowhere in particular. I thought we'd stroll around the old neighborhood, like old times.
Why, that's a nice idea, Walter, but my feet...
Hello, Mrs. Bates.
Good evening, Officer Flanagan. This is my son, Walter. He's just here from Pittsburgh.
Glad to know you.
How's business, Copper?
Oh, much the same. Vagrancy, petty larceny, once in a while, a suicide.
Suicide?
Yeah, that's what they start out to do, but it's harder to get bumped off than most people think.
Huh?
Case just last week over in the next precinct. Dame turned on the gas in her room and lay down on the bed.
What happened?
Nothing. They always bungle somewhere. Amateurs. Gas petered out. She forgot to put a quarter in the meter. 7 o'clock. I got a call in. Well, good night, Mr. Bates.
Good night, Officer.
Nice to meet you, Walter.
Ma,
Yes, Walter.
when did you put a quarter in the meter at home?
Why, I don't remember. Goodness, I'd better get some change.
Never mind the change. Come on.
Walter, why did you ask about the gas meter?
What do you think?
Walter, you didn't. That isn't why you put the heater in, Mr. Chalmers.
What do you think?
I don't think anything. I just pray that quarter ran out
Save
before...
your prayers. Of course, if that didn't work, I'll try another way. Either that old cluck is dead before midnight, or I spend 10 years in stir. He's going to be dead before midnight, see? And if you try to make any trouble, you'll be pushing daisies right along with him. Stop sniveling. We're going in there now. Now, look, if it took, scream your head off, or I'll give you a reason to scream.
Gas. I can smell it.
Come on.
Oh, well, good evening, Walter. Mrs. Bates. I was just on my way out.
Oh, Mr. Chalmers, you're all right. You're all right.
Of course he's all right. What's eating you?
I have a slight headache, it's true. But a brisk walk in the open air will cure that, I'm sure.
Hey, will you look at this?
What is it, Walter?
Well, this hose on a heater. Huh. Got unhitched. No wonder you got a headache.
I thought I smelled gas.
Boy, it's lucky for you Mom forgot to put a quarter in the meter.
Providence works in strange ways, doesn't it, Walter? Well, I must be getting on. I'll be coming home rather late, Mrs. Bates, so I'll just let myself in.
How late?
Well, I thought I'd stop at the neighborhood picture house for dinner. That'll be around 9 o'clock. So I imagine I won't be home much before 11.
Mr. Chalmers, there's something I wanted to...
Yes, Mrs. Bates.
Walter's a good boy at heart, you know, but he's been in some trouble lately, and...
Is there anything I can do to help, Walter?
Yeah, plenty. I'll tell you all about it when you get back. Come on, you better run along now, Mr. Chalmers. You don't want to be late for that picture.
Yes, of course. Well, good night, Mrs. Bates.
Mr. Chalmers,
Good night, Mr. Chalmers.
Yes, good night.
Oh, Walter, Walter, no! No, my book, no!
You were going to tell him, weren't you?
Walter.
You'd like to send me to the chair, wouldn't you?
You struck me, Walter. You struck your own mother.
I ought to have messed up your sad monkey face for good.
Oh,
It's
no,
your fault I
but
balled us up in the first place. Why didn't you remember to put a quarter on that meter? Why didn't you?
I'm glad I forgot. He wouldn't be alive.
I shouldn't have messed around with gas, trying to spare your feelings, making you look like an accident.
Oh, no.
The thanks I get for it. She wants to blab the whole thing. Turn me in, my own mother.
No, Walter, no, that's not true.
Why, you...
But don't strike me again, Walter. I can't stand it.
Okay. Maybe now you'll cooperate. Now, look, let's put it this way. It's either you or him. If it's you, I don't care whether they get me or not. Are you listening?
Oh, yes, Walter.
Okay, now, like I said, I got very little time to get this thing done. I ought to have done it neat and clean in the first place, like I said. He's old and weak. You just push him over on a bed, hold a pillow over his face for a few minutes, and the job's done. Nobody will ask any questions, a guy that old.
Walter, for the last time, I'm begging.
Okay, make sure it's for the last time. And remember, it's you or him, like I said.
What are you going to do?
Now, look. I'll be waiting in his room when he comes home. I'm shot anyway, so I'll lay down and get 40 winks. You wait up for him. Tell him I've left to catch a train. That's in case he suspects anything. When he comes to his room, I'll take care of the rest of it.
How do you know I won't warn him?
Because it's him or you, like I told you. I don't think you'll warn Mr. Chalmers. And don't try to stall him when he comes in. He's got to be dead by midnight. Or else.
Paper here. Evening, Mr. Chalmers.
Evening, Joe. I'll have the late edition of the Daily News as usual.
Oh, I saved one out for you, Mr. Chalmers.
Thank you. Good night, Joe.
Good night.
Oh, by the way, Joe, I almost forgot. Can you give me the change of $1?
Oh, sure, Mr. Chalmers. Yes, here you are. 50, 75, 85, 90, and $1.
Well, thank you. I just happened to think of something I need change for. A little good deed for a friend of mine.
Oh, Mr. Chalmers.
Well, I didn't think you'd be up so late, Mrs. Bates.
I waited up especially. I wanted to talk to you about Walter.
Mrs. Bates, your eye, it's all discolored.
Yes, the light burned out in the bathroom, and when I went to replace it in the dark, that is, I bumped into the door.
Now, I would have thought Walter would have done that for you.
Oh, no, Walter didn't. I mean, Walter's left already. He had to catch the 12:20 for Pittsburgh, you know.
But it's only 11 now. The clock...
Perhaps he had some things to do on the way, I mean.
Of course. Well, I'm afraid I must be getting on to bed.
No, not just yet. I mean, won't you sit down for a minute and have a cup of tea with me?
Well, I'd like to, but tea keeps me awake, Mrs. Bates. I'll be getting along to my room now, if you don't mind.
No, don't go into that room, Mr. Chalmers.
Why, Mrs. Bates, whatever's the trouble...
My son, Walter, there's something I must tell you.
Forgive me, Mrs. Bates, but I'm an old man, and I need my rest. If it could possibly wait until morning...
No, it can't wait until morning. It's got to be told before midnight.
What was that? Sounds like someone moving about in the back of the house.
One of the shutters. It's loose. The wind...
Oh, you were saying, Mrs. Bates?
Nothing. I can't tell you after all. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to tell it. Afraid.
There, Mrs. Bates. Perhaps in the morning. Try to get some rest.
You're going in there now?
I think that will be the best thing to do all the way around. Don't you, Mrs. Bates? Good night.
No, wait.
Mrs. Bates, What is it, Mrs. Bates?
That smell. Gas. Walter!
Why don't you lie down for a few minutes, Mrs. Bates? I'll call you when the ambulance arrives.
Listen. It's striking 12. Dead before midnight. That's what he said. Dead before midnight.
Poor lad. Fell asleep. If only I hadn't remembered to go back for that change.
You did it. You put the quarter in the meter. That's what turned on the gas that killed him.
Well, you mentioned the gas having gone off and forgetting to put a quarter in the meter. So on the way to the picture house, I just went around to the back entry and dropped the coin. I suppose I should have remembered about the connection being loose on the heater in my room. But I wanted to surprise you with my good deed. I didn't mean to do anything wrong, Mrs. Bates. Truly I didn't.
No. You didn't do anything wrong, Mr. Chalmers. You didn't do anything wrong.
And so closes Life Ends at Midnight, starring Fay Bainter, Ralph Morgan, and Dane Clark. Tonight's tale of Suspense.
Miss Bainter appeared by courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of Madame Curie. Dane Clark is currently being seen in the Warner Brothers production Destination Tokyo. Before Ralph Morgan returns to our microphone, let me give you a suggestion. A suggestion you will find can add to the success of your next dinner party at home. At one end of the dining table, place a bottle of Roma wines, not sweet, not dry, Burgundy. At the other table end, place a bottle of Roma wines, delicately delicious Sauterne. Then, let each of your guests select the Roma wine to his liking. You'll know that whatever the individual choice of a guest, both of these Roma California wines will delight by their superb quality, the quality that has made Roma wines America's largest selling wines. Whichever of Roma wine's many different California wine types you choose at your dealers, the small purchase price he asks will surprise and delight you, while the superb quality of these good Roma wines will win your full accord with the judgment of wine experts of many lands that Roma wines are truly magnificent. Let me repeat the name. R-O-M-A, Roma wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is Ralph Morgan. First, I'm sure I speak for all of us, Miss Bainter, Mr. Clark, and myself, in saying how much we have enjoyed appearing on Suspense this evening. We will all be listening, as we hope you will, next week when Miss Agnes Moorehead is your star in one of the most talked-about plays ever to be presented in this series, called Sorry, Wrong Number. And now one more word. Here's something our fighting men may never forget. The price of victory is sacrifice. You help bring the victory nearer when you make the sacrifices that make it possible for you to buy more war bonds. Thank you.
Suspense is produced and directed by William Spear. Don't forget then next Monday for Agnes Moorehead in Suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This week, guest quacking on the Bah Ghoulie Show, Waddle the Duck. And here's Waddle.
Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
Grab a Coke, cup or bottle. Don't forget to Watchwaddle.
The Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
Quiet! I'm me, Fruit Brute, with my fruit-flavored cereal, Fruit Brute, part of your nutritious breakfast. Fool on you! But delicious Fruit Brute has fruit-flavored marshmallows for the howling good taste of fruit.
Count Chocula's got chocolate marshmallows.
Frankenberry's got strawberry-flavored marshmallows.
Fruit Brute, with the howling good taste of fruit.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment. For this is a time of mystery. A time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the haunting hour.
The hands of Mr. Smith.
Midnight. An alleyway, dark and ominously quiet, in the dimly lighted factory district on the outskirts of a big city. In the black shadows, two men wait, their hats pulled down over their eyes, their hands tense in their overcoat pockets. Suddenly, one of the men leans forward in the velvet darkness to peer down the deserted street.
I don't see him, Russ.
He'll be along.
I can hardly wait to get my hands on that dough.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Russ. My hands. The way they're shaking.
Take it easy, Tiny.
It's funny. Every time I wait and stick up a guy, my mitts get shaking like this.
You'll keep them paws under control.
Oh, sure.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, I won't do nothing. I won't touch the guy.
Remember that.
But why don't he come, Russ?
Get back here.
But where is he? I can see the factory door, but he ain't come out yet.
Get back here, I said.
Okay.
Listen.
A car's coming.
Cops.
Huh?
Police car.
A couple of lousy cops. Shut up. Well, maybe they'll spot our car. Maybe they'll stop and start looking around.
I said shut up.
Oh, look, they're going by. They ain't stopping.
Stand still.
They turned the corner.
Oh, that's better.
Gee. Now my hands are shaking worse than ever.
I told you to keep them big paws quiet.
I'm trying to, Russ. A guy can't do more than that.
Don't do it. When this cashier comes along, keep your hands in your pocket, and you won't be tempted.
I'll remember. I won't touch him, Russ.
Here he comes.
Are you sure?
That's him. He's all alone. He just came out of the factory.
He's carrying something.
A paper bag. He's got the dough in a paper bag.
This is one trip to the bank he ain't never going to finish.
Steady now. Okay, mister, get him up.
Well,
who are you?
Get him up, the man said.
Take the bag, Tiny.
Don't shoot. I won't yell.
He won't yell, he says.
Take that bag, Tiny, you sap.
I don't like this guy.
Keep your hands down, Tiny.
Give me that bag.
Sure. I said I would.
How much is in here?
$3,000.
$3,000? Listen, you punk.
Stop! Go of me.
Cut it out, Tiny.
But only $3,000, he said.
Stop. You're joking.
I don't like you.
Let go of him, Tiny.
But I don't like him. He looks like that guard in the big house. I give the money. Yeah, and I'm giving you something.
Stop, Tiny. Let go or I'll knock you cold.
Yeah, this guy won't stand still.
Drop him. Let go.
Okay. I'll let him go.
You killed him.
Huh?
You killed him, you sap. He's dead.
But he looked just like that guard that slugged me.
Get in the car.
We're going to leave him here?
Get in the car, I said.
Where's the door?
I got it. Get in. Move.
But Russ, him laying there, suppose them cops come back.
Shut the door. We're getting out of here.
Hey, Russ, where are we going? This ain't the way to the apartment.
We're not going to the apartment.
Oh, why not? I told Claire I'd bring the money home tonight.
Keep watching that rearview mirror.
There ain't no cops on our trail. But where are we going,
We're
Russ?
ditching this car, you dope.
Oh, yeah. Sure, we don't need this hot jalopy no more tonight.
I thought I told you to keep your hands off that cashier.
Oh, now listen, Russ.
We had this stick up in the bag, but you had to go and scrag the guy.
I didn't mean to kill him, but there was something about him, and once I got my mitts on his throat...
I know you can't make those big paws behave.
I'm sorry, Russ.
I had my rod on him. All you had to do was take the bag, get in the car while I knocked him cold, and we had smooth sailing.
I said I was sorry, Russ.
You're always sorry.
But look, we got the $3,000, didn't we? We're in the clear. Nobody saw us. Nobody heard us.
What do you mean, us? I didn't kill him.
Hey.
What's the matter?
Back there. I think a prowl car just turned the corner.
Oh, is it?
No. That ain't no prowl car. Just a black sedan like this one. It pulled up the curb.
We'll turn off at the next corner, brain.
Plenty deserted around here. Why don't we stop here?
Go on a little further along where it's darker.
Yeah, Claire's going to wonder what's happened. I said I'd be at the apartment by 12:30.
Claire will know soon enough.
Yeah. Wait till I show her the $3,000 we got.
Wait till she hears about the murder.
Oh, I won't tell her tonight.
No, she can read it in the morning papers.
Yeah. Hey, you know, we're getting kind of far out of town. When are we going to stop?
Right here. I'll pull off the road. Okay. We'll leave her here.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Not even a house in sight.
Give me your gun, Tiny.
My gun?
Your gat. Give it to me.
But what for?
To keep you out of trouble.
Now listen, Russ.
Now, we're leaving this car. We're walking to the nearest bus line. If there's a cop on the bus and he looks at you twice, you're going to start shooting, so hand over your rod.
Okay, here it is.
That's better. And now, Tiny, give me the money.
Huh?
The paper bag with the money. Hand it over.
Hey, what is this?
Give me the money, Tiny.
Oh, sure. Here it is. Come on, now let's get out of this car.
Sit still.
Huh?
You're staying here.
Hey, wait a minute.
Keep those hands quiet.
Hey, Russ, watch that gun. You're pointing it right at me.
You said it. I'm washed up with you, and so's Claire.
Claire?
Yeah, Claire, your wife. She's fed up to the teeth, so am I.
You and Claire... Oh, so that's why you didn't drive the apartment. That's why you came way out here. You and Claire crossing me up. You're figuring I'm bumping me off?
That's right.
Give me that gun.
You bet I will.
Oh, Russ, I'll get you for this. I'll get Claire and you if I have to dig my way out of my own grave.
We gotta beat it, Russ. We gotta pack up and beat it out of here tonight.
What, at 2 o'clock in the morning? Not on your life. We're staying here until this whole thing blows over.
But that cashier, maybe the cops have found him already. They're bound to find him soon. They're bound to find Tiny.
What of it, Claire? They can't connect it up with you and me.
I'm scared, Russ. Suppose Tiny wasn't dead. Suppose he drove the car back here to the apartment somehow.
You must believe in ghosts.
He said he'd get us, didn't he? He said he'd get us if he had to dig his way out of his own grave.
Oh, I shouldn't have told you that.
Come on. Let's get out of here.
Nothing doing, Claire. We're staying right here. Come on, baby. Unlock the trunk.
The trunk?
Sure. We'll hide the dough in your trunk until this whole thing blows over. Come on, honey. Unlock it.
It is unlocked.
This lid is kind of rusty, huh? There we are. I'll shove this $3,000 under all these clothes.
Those are Tiny's clothes.
Oh, come on. Relax, Claire. Now let me lock it.
Wait.
What's the matter?
You've locked the trunk.
Oh, sure.
But Tiny has the only key. He always carries it with him.
Well, what about it? We'll get another one. I'll have a new one made tomorrow.
What was that?
Sounded like glass breaking.
It was here in the apartment somewhere.
Maybe it wasn't.
I'm sure it was. Sounded like it came from the bathroom.
Well, let's find out.
Wait a minute.
What for?
Have your gun ready.
My gun?
That window in the bathroom. Maybe Tiny climbed up the fire
Oh, will
escape.
you forget, Tiny? He's dead, I tell you. Come on. Let's find out what that noise was. There, you see? There's no one in the bathroom.
The window's open. I closed it and locked it tonight before you and Tiny left.
Oh, now listen, Claire.
Look. Look, there on the windowsill.
What's the matter now?
Blood. Blood on the windowsill. Yeah. And here, on the floor, more of it. I tell you, Tiny did come back. He drove that car back here, climbed the fire escape, and he's hiding here in the apartment waiting to kill us.
Quiet, Claire, quiet.
I'm getting out of here.
No, you're not. You go flying down the street at this time of night, and some cop will pick you up as sure as my name's Rogers.
But that blood on the sill, on the floor, the window open.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, this stuff on the floor, this isn't blood?
Of course it's blood.
Oh, Claire, you're wrong. Look, there, under the bathtub.
What is it?
A bottle. A little bottle of that stuff you paint your nails with.
I kept that bottle on the windowsill.
All right, okay. So the wind, something blew it off. That's what we heard. This bottle breaking. That's what made those spots in here.
Listen.
Police car.
Sounded like it. Stopped in front of the building.
Soon find out. Come on, living room.
Suppose they followed Tiny here. Suppose he drove the car back here.
Will you stop talking about Tiny? Put out the lights.
What for?
Put out the lights, Claire.
All right.
Go on. Peek under this window shade and see where that police car is.
Are they out front?
Yeah, they are. 2 cops in front of the building.
What are they doing?
They're looking at a car.
What car?
A black sedan parked in front of the building.
You said the car you used tonight was a black sedan.
All right, there's a million black sedans in this country, Mike.
But why are the cops looking at the one out front? Why are they putting their flashlights on the running board? Why are they looking inside?
How do I know?
Because Tiny drove it here. He isn't dead. You didn't kill him. He drove that car back here, climbed the fire escape, and he's in the apartment somewhere waiting to get it. Somebody at the door. Shh. So what are you going to do?
Open up.
Police.
Open up, Smith. We want in.
Now, back to our story. The Hands of Mr. Smith. The midnight robbery of a cashier by 2 gunmen, Russ Rogers and Tiny Smith, developed swiftly into murder. Tiny, a powerful man with enormous hands, seized the cashier by the throat and killed him. Rogers, furious at his partner's stupidity, then shot Smith and left him in the black sedan in which they had made their getaway. With the stolen money, Rogers hurried to Smith's apartment. There, with Smith's wife, Claire, he hid the money in an old trunk. Suddenly, a police siren sounded outside the building. Then the buzzer to the Smiths' apartment hummed like an angry bee.
Somebody's at the door.
Open up, Smith.
The police. What are we going to do?
Put on the lights.
You going to give yourself up?
Let me handle this. Put on the lights.
Okay.
Open up in there, Mr. Smith. We want in.
Well, just a minute. I'm coming.
You folks are heavy sleepers.
What's the matter, officer?
There's a black sedan parked in front of the building with a lot of blood on the running board.
Blood?
Yeah. All over the running board and a lot more inside.
Well, what's it got to do with us? We don't own a car.
You don't, huh?
No.
Maybe you know whose car it is, then. Take a look out the window.
I already did.
I thought you just got out of bed.
I did. I heard the siren out front, came in the living room, and looked out the window. I went back to put on some clothes to go downstairs and find out what it was all about.
Who owns that car out front?
I don't know. I never saw it in my life before.
Where's the janitor of this joint?
Janitor? Oh, all right. Probably.
Mr. Monks and his wife live in the basement.
There's nobody home.
Sometimes the Monks stay overnight with Mrs. Monk's sister. She lives over in Glendale somewhere.
Do the Monks own a car?
Not that I know of.
Who lives in the apartment above this one?
Let's see.
An old bachelor. A man named Weaver.
Maybe that black sedan belongs to him.
We wouldn't know.
Okay, folks. Sorry to get you out of bed at this time in the morning.
That's all right, officer.
I'll go up and talk to this Weaver guy.
Maybe that stuff on the running board ain't blood, huh?
It's blood, all right. Good night.
Good night, officer.
You're lying to me, Russ. That black sedan out front is the one you killed Tiny in.
Now listen, Claire.
Tiny didn't die. He drove the car back here.
I tell you, you're nuts. Tiny's dead. That car in front of the building only looks like the one I used tonight.
Then how do you explain the blood on the running board? How do you explain the blood inside?
I can't explain it.
I can, because it's the car you shot Tiny in. He came back here. He's hiding in the apartment somewhere, waiting to kill us. He said he'd dig his way out of his own grave to get it.
Oh, what a sap I was to tell you that.
Let's get away, Russ. Let's beat it out of here.
And leave that $3,000 locked in the trunk?
Why did you have to lock that trunk? I told you Tiny had the only key.
And I told you I'd have another key made in the morning.
Listen.
I heard it.
Somebody's out in the kitchen.
Oh, don't be a sap. There's no one in this apartment but you and me.
Then what was that noise?
I don't know. Probably the cat knocked over something on the kitchen table.
There it is again. I tell you, Tiny's here.
Tiny's dead. He's dead. Do you hear me? In that car, 2 miles away.
Wait. Where are you going?
I'm going out in the kitchen.
Don't leave me alone.
I'm not leaving you alone. You're coming with me. Maybe you believe in ghosts. I don't. Come on.
Look. Look, in the bedroom.
Oh, it can't be. That's impossible.
I knew it. I knew he'd come back.
But it can't be. It can't be Tiny. We're seeing things.
Why doesn't he say something? Why doesn't he do something? Why does he just lie there on the bed?
I'm going in the bedroom.
No, don't go near him.
I'm going to get the key to that trunk.
Don't touch him, Russ. Don't go near him.
But Tiny has the key. You told me I got to get it out of his pocket. We'll get the money and beat it.
He isn't breathing. His eyes. I can't look at them.
All right, steady now. I'll slip my hand in his pocket. I got it. I got the key.
Hello, Russ.
Let go of my wrist.
I said I'd come back, Russ.
Let go of my wrist.
Drop the key.
Claire, get the gun out of my back pocket.
A gun won't help you, Russ. You ought to know that now.
You're breaking my wrist.
Then drop the key on the bed.
Okay. I dropped it.
That's my pal. Claire.
Don't come near him, Claire.
Take the key, Claire.
Don't come near him, I tell you.
Pick up the key. Come around on the other side of the bed and get it.
Yes, Tiny.
You've always been a good wife, Claire. Take the key. The money we got tonight belongs to you.
Tiny, with this money, we can all get away.
Sure we can. Pick up the key. Don't be afraid.
All right. I will.
Now.
Stop! Let go of me!
Now we're all together again.
Your hand! It's breaking my wrist!
We're all together again. You and me and Russ.
Russ! Why don't you do something?
Yeah, Russ. Why don't you do something?
I can't even move.
These big hands of mine, they're better than a gun. They can hold you two here, maybe forever.
on, Monks. Push the buzzer again.
Ah, Dora, it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. The Smiths don't get up this early.
We'll get him up. I'm going to find out about this.
I'm going back downstairs and finish my breakfast.
You are not. You're the janitor of this building, and you're supposed to know what's going on with the tenants.
Well, that don't mean I gotta wake him up and ask him foolish questions.
I want to know if the man we heard about on the radio is our Mr. Smith.
It can't be.
How do you know? Go on, push the button.
We've had enough trouble last night over to your sister's house. Why go looking for more?
This ain't looking for trouble. If it was him, we gotta know sooner or later, and I want to know now.
Sure gonna be mad.
I want to know, that's all. You never can tell with tenants. Who'd think that mild old Mr. Weaver was the kind to go out hunting wild animals?
That's different.
All right. Stop the buzzer, Monks. You've buzzed long enough to wake the dead.
For crying out loud, Dora. This is a fine way to start the day. I haven't
Try the door.
I haven't...
The door, Monks. Go on, try it. Maybe it's unlocked.
All right. Hey. It is unlocked.
Well, go on, open it. Go on in.
Hey. They got the lights in the living room all turned on.
I knew it. I tell you, there's something wrong with them Smiths.
For crying out loud. Do you see what I see, Dora?
Money. It's money laying all over the floor.
They must have been storing that money in that trunk. Look, it's open.
Yeah. Some money inside of it, too.
Well, the Smiths never had so much money.
As far as we knew. There was always something fishy about them Smiths. And their friend, too, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. Hey, what are we going to do?
What's that?
Someone in the bedroom. It don't sound like Mr. Smith.
No, that's not Mr. Smith.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Are you crazy? We're going to find out what's the matter here. We're going into that bedroom.
No, be careful, Dora. There's no telling who it is.
Wait. Don't go no further.
Hey, it's Mr. Rogers.
Yes. What in the world's happened to him?
Listen to what he's saying.
That car with blood all over it, that was Tiny's car. He came back.
Oh, he must have seen Mr. Weaver's car outside with all the blood on it. You'd better tell that old gent that he's scaring the other tenants. It's none of our business if he wants to go off shooting wild animals. But to bring him home dripping blood, it's enough to scare the wits out of anyone.
Blood dripping. It was Tiny's blood.
Now, Mr. Rogers, that was deer blood. Mr. Weaver's upstairs went hunting yesterday.
No, make them let me go. Make them take the cuffs off.
Cuffs?
Tiny did it. He clamped me to the bed.
You're not clamped to the bed, Mr. Rogers. Your sleeve's caught in the rod at the edge of the bed.
Monks, look at his hair. He didn't have white hair when he was here yesterday.
What happened, Mr. Rogers? What happened to you?
Tiny did it. He put his hands around her throat. Tiny did it.
Oh, he's out of his head.
Dora, it's true. On the other side of the bed, Mrs. Smith. She's on the floor.
Oh, maybe she's fainted.
No, there's marks on her neck. Say, Rogers, cut the act. Maybe you killed her.
Tiny did it. With his hands on her throat, make him get off the bed. Make him get off the bed and open these cuffs. Make him get off the bed.
There's no one on the bed, Mr. Rogers.
Don't lie to me. I can see him. He's right in front of me lying on the bed.
But, Mr. Rogers, the bed's empty. The spread hasn't even a wrinkle in it.
But I see him. It's Tiny, I tell you.
It couldn't be Mr. Smith. Even if something was there, it couldn't be Mr. Smith.
It couldn't?
No, he was killed. Police found him with 4 bullets in him. He was in a black sedan, they said. We heard it on the radio this morning. They found him dead about 2 miles from here.
Yes, they described him on the radio, too. And we knew it was Mr. Smith. He died about 12:30 last night.
Yeah, they said he had big hands, like Mr. Smith.
But the funny thing is, he had a key in his hand.
A key?
Yes, Mr. Rogers, a trunk key. A little trunk key in one of his great big hands.
In shadows and stillness, mystery weaves a spell of strangest fascination, charging the mind with doubts and fears. For mystery is a strange companion, a living memory in the haunting hour.
Watchwaddle Radio Repairman. Thanks for watching the Bah Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out channel Watchwaddle for some fun cartoons with no static.